recently, Ms. Rojas graced the City Center stage to honor Ms. Jameson and her moving into a different sort of capacity at the ALE organization. Robert Battle coming in as artistic director. And so can you tell us a little bit about
the process?
Getting stage ready? Okay, so they say, okay, Liz, will you perform? And so what was getting back into your body with the idea? Not just like, oh, I have to slim down because I have tan lines in my stomach from the ripples.
Right.
But like, I'm going to be on stage again.
That was, you know, I think as dancers we always say, yes, I'll do it. You know, it's like we have this syndrome. Yes, I'll do it. You know, we can never say no.
Never think about it. Just
never
say
think
yes.
about it. We just say, sure. I mean, dancing, sure. It's like an instinctual, you know, instinctual thing that you just do. So after I said yes to Mr. Chaya,
you're like, oh crap.
and the funny thing is, he said, oh, Liz-san, don't worry, it's going to be a big dress. I go, Chaya, I'm not worried about the big dress. I'm worried whether I can actually do it. Where I can stand on my
That's funny. The idea he's worried about the body. You're like, there's something bigger than the body.
Yes.
It is an actual performance that I have to do.
That whole connotation of how you left and how you looked and how you felt and how you're feeling now, and you're going like, how am I going to get even halfway there?
Right.
And so, of course, he gave me 3 months, thank goodness, to
Give me
get
3 months,
ready.
I'll take off the weight. I'll get the leg up.
Ready. October, November, exactly. He told me in September, was it? Yeah, September. And I was stuffing my face with fried chicken.
Okay, I'll do it.
And I started, I think, crying because I said, oh my gosh, he wants me to dance. And I was like, how can I say no?
She had the phone on one hand and the
chicken on the other side. And then the reality really strikes and you go, okay, I got to go back in the regiment. And what's the first thing you do is you have to gain back your technique.
Right.
And that was, whoa, the hardest part.
Really?
Yeah.
So let me ask you, did your natural facility as far as like being flexible, are you still naturally flexible, or do you know what I mean? Was it just like the muscle memory of how to, you know, close your fist and find your hamstring? Or did you lose some of your...
I had lost a lot. I mean, understand I have a disability that's also in front of me, which I don't have any ACL on both my knees.
So you have to work differently.
Very differently. I mean, I don't even... talk about those knees won't bend anymore. You know, I was able to get away with it teaching, because in teaching, as you know, we can only demonstrate in a good leg or sort of like half demonstrate.
Right, exactly.
But when you're actually having to do it, the actual taking of class, and I started taking a ballet class, and I remember my first ballet class, I was like, inside, you know, there's that calm look outside, and you think that you're smiling and everything, but inside everything was shaking.
It's like, get me out of here!
Like, get me out! Exactly. There was this little voice going like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this to me? You know, and for at least a good month, I went through that. But did I change my diet? I didn't really change my diet. I mean, I didn't change really the way I was eating. I just lessened the portion.
Right. And also, like, there's a section I did on here called The Work Works. Because once you start working in a certain way, your body's going to respond in a certain way. And if you're sensible, it does come down to where you should really naturally, organically be.
Yeah. So
you're not as tiny as you were when you were doing, you know, 8 shows a week or whatever, but you're where you should be.
Yeah. And I still feel fuller, you know, but not, actually I was wearing the same costume. They were so proud. Most of us that came back to perform that day, we were wearing the same size that we left with.
Go ALE girls! Yes. Go ALE divas!
I mean, I just had a little bit more fuller breasts, so thank goodness. But the process of it was not easy. I mean, first of all, understand that I'm 52 years old, and I'm proud to say that, you know, but you stand in class, not even with your peers, because I was taking class at ALE. I was standing with my students. you know.
Right, which is a whole other thing.
Which
It's
is
not
a
even like
whole
at
different
steps
game.
where there's people who
Yes.
you don't know, may know you, but you don't
Yeah,
know.
that's
But
a whole
these are people
different
that you
trip.
have to teach.
Exactly.
later.
That's a whole different trip, you know. And then you
Yes.
kind of ask
And they
yourself.
are watching.
And they are watching, and you kind of go like, they're going to be watching on stage, and they're going to say, well, Mr. Rojas says this and this and this in class, and this thing can't even do it.
Right,
You know, it's like
right.
you got to do what you say.
So it's like there's a little ego.
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
I went through that whole thing, and finally, I think it's my practice as a Buddhist. Go like, you know, this is where you are. You just have to trust it, and have faith that you're doing the work.
Right.
You're doing everything that you can to get to that point, not where you were before, but
Right.
to a place wherein you can accept yourself.
Talk about a little bit, because I think that this is really fascinating about how your struggle of how you're stepping back as a student or dancer.
Yeah.
It threw you back into that
Oh yeah.
headset.
Yeah, you started.
yesteryear.
Yes, you started. I started looking in the mirror and started looking at my face, that whole seriousness thing, and being like, I gotta get this right in the first go around and the first step. And I had to just talk myself out of it and going like, you're gonna get a heart attack, or really break your bones.
Right.
Because
right.
you know it's not gonna work like that. You
And
gotta,
it's different. It should be different.
It
Like,
should
you
be
can't-
different.
Your expectation can't
Yeah.
be what it was.
Yeah.
Do you think that like your students could use some of that? Like, how would that lesson sort of apply to young dancers, or does it? Do you think?
Not yet, I think. I think it applies for us who are at the stage wherein you want to dance, but you're afraid to dance because you're afraid to be either ridiculed by reviewers who will say something nasty about it, or say you shouldn't be on stage or do this. But I think it's the honesty of how you really feel about yourself. And if you feel that you couldn't really do it, it's being able to accept that.
Right. Or accept what it is.
Yeah,
Like, it's
accept
not
what
what
it
it
is.
was when you were
Right.
20-something.
Yeah.
This is what it is.
Yeah.
And there's a beauty in that as
Exactly.
well. I think that it's phenomenal to watch mature dancers on stage, because the depth of
Yeah.
the other thing.
Right.
Their physicality can be just as equal to a young
Sometimes,
dancer.
right.
But like, for instance, Pina Bausch's company, they're all
Oh,
mature dancers,
love
and you see
Pina
them
Bausch.
in the richness of that
Yes.
whole performance.
Love Pina Bausch.
Is so it's like amazing.
But I think our society is not a very accepting society, and maybe it is just starting to be an accepting society. That there are, just like we have different, colors in the world, we have different levels of where we are
Yes.
in our career. And people should be given a chance and be accepted for that, and
And
not
it should be
ridiculed.
okay.
It
There's
should
nothing
be
wrong
okay.
with it, because you know what, everybody, if you're lucky
Yeah.
enough, you age.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you want to do? Can I
And
just
we
say?
all will age.